For Adom Otchere on Good Evening Ghana and or the reply abre Captain Smart won sense ma Captain Smart ebeka say baumia media engagement journalist ko na no biya 20,000 Ghana cedis eno na for Adom Otchere enra Good Evening Ghana so oba be respond to say insensema course no na ne Captain Smart or say Captain Smart it say entro de can tro Captain Smart it can tro in fact Paul Adom Otchere the Captain Smart at on a level.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, viewers, for keeping with. Now, we're going to the most controversial topic that we're going to discuss today, whilst thevoiceshow takes a seat. After the Dr. Bawumia press conference, it's not just Dr. Bawumia, it was said after John Maham's press conference, after Jenano Pokuajiman's press conference, it was said that Jenano Pokuajiman gave the lady journalist who came to see her 8,000 CDs. Somebody gave this and somebody gave that. And it's been discussed around for a while. And I feel that the journalists are being battered for doing nothing wrong. And it's the journalists who are doing that. The people who are talking like that, those who sit in the morning and wear black spectacles, are they saying, never attended an event and been compensated before? Are they saying that they even take money, some of those people, they take money for immoral conduct. They take money to come and sit on radio to insult people. And they collect money that give me money, let me go and insult Paul Adom Otchere. Give me money, let me go and insult Napo. Give me money, let me go and insult Akufo-Addo. Give me money, let me go and insult Bawumia. Give me money, let me go and insult Damboche. They do that. They do. All the time. Those people. And then they are concerned that a press conference has been delivered by the vice president and the presidential candidates for the NPP. And they say that journalists, when the journalists were paid 20,000, that's corruption. Let's get to the story. So, this is what we wrote. Journalists don't have to be paid to attend Bawumia's press conference, but they need to be sufficiently compensated, shouldn't they? And viewers, I ask you the question, shouldn't they be sufficiently compensated? Yes, we understand that journalists are not to be paid. Their media houses pays them. The salaries for media houses. But they have to be compensated. I don't see the hula baloo about it. You are holding a press conference on a Sunday. The journalists who are married and have children, they are spending time with their family on a Sunday. The journalists who are not married, they are spending time with their girlfriend and boyfriend on a Sunday. They are watching football on a Sunday. They'll come to work on Monday. You asked them to come to Kempinski on Sunday, and we all think that they shouldn't be compensated. Some of the journalists came from outside Accra. Those who are coming from outside Accra, they should buy their own bus ticket and plane ticket to come from Tamale to Accra to cover Bawumia's press conference. What kind of hypocrisy is this? I do not understand it. What kind of hypocrisy is this? And why are we following after people who are not leading us astray? People who are not demonstrating any capacity to produce thinking. Those who are not demonstrating, they are demonstrating actually zero capacity to produce any thinking. All they know is insults. And why are we following them on this tangent? What is the point? That Bawumia gave journalists money and so something must come down, all hell must break loose. He's calling a press conference on a Sunday. He's inviting the journalists to come. It will be irresponsible of the Bawumia campaign to invite journalists to come from all over the country to come and sit at the moving pic, listen to him, produce the stories out of it, and compensate them for nothing. It will be irresponsible. It will be the height of irresponsibility on the Bawumia campaign. So as we say, journalists don't have to be paid to attend Bawumia's press conference, but they need to be sufficiently compensated. Journalists don't have to be paid to attend Bawumia's press conference, but they need to be sufficiently compensated, shouldn't they? What's wrong with this? And that's the point I was making. Somebody should come and tell me that when the journalist came to John Maham's press conference, he didn't pay them anything. He didn't compensate them for anything. If he didn't, he's a very wicked man. And he's an irresponsible director of communication for a former president. That you call journalists to come to a press conference on a Sunday when they are not working. You want them to put the story together. Now you are doing it on Sunday because on Monday you are busy on your campaign. And you don't want to be in Accra on that day because you have a campaign schedule somewhere else. And so you call them to come on a Sunday, and it is reckless on the part of the politician or corruption on the part of the journalist to take the money. I do not even know what we are talking of hypocrisy in this country. What hypocrisy is that? What is the hypocrisy about? That people should come to press conference and they shouldn't be compensated. They shouldn't be paid, but they should be compensated because you are asking them to come and cover your story. When a journalist wakes up in the morning, he must have his own story to cover. The journalist has an editorial policy. They decide what they are covering. If you want them to come and cover your story, you have to compensate them for that. What are we doing? If they are doing that here in Metro TV, when we invite people to come, we used to give them coupons in good times. We give them coupons because we have invited them to come. We are building from their expertise to build our Good Morning Ghana program. We are building from Kwesi Pratt's expertise and Kweku Bako's expertise for the Good Morning Ghana program. When Mr. Aruna was here, we give them coupon for petrol. We cannot pay them. We cannot pay for the expertise, but we can compensate them. Compensate. That's what we do to guests. Now, if you are sitting here somewhere and you want to use our platform to publish your story and you want us to come and cover your event, you think that you shouldn't compensate? And if a responsible person decides to compensate the journalist, we call it corruption. That Fourth Estate is doing investigative research on whether Bawumia paid journalists. They should go and correct their book and stop the reckless journalism they do. And don't go and check. When Mahama did, they go and check it. When Mahama had a press conference, the Fourth Estate go and check whether journalists were paid. When Jenana Opoku-Agyeman took female journalists somewhere and gave them her policy and they publicized it, the Fourth Estate go and check whether Jenana Opoku-Agyeman gave the journalists money. Is it not out of grapevine that we heard that she gave them 8,000? What is the problem with giving them 8,000? Why should she be so irresponsible that journalists come to cover her policy statements and are going to publish her policy and she shouldn't compensate them in any way? They should go away because they are journalists. Why you think journalists are some people who don't have blood in them? They don't buy food, they don't go to the market, they don't buy car tire, they don't pay electricity bill. You think they don't do that? So when they come and render a service and they come and deliver their skills to you and bring their newsroom to you, you don't compensate them. You can't pay them. It's not a salary, it's not pay, but you compensate because you compensate for their time. That's what it is. And you can decide how much the money should be, whether it's 10,000, whether it's... If I were a communication director for Bawumia, I will give each journalist 10,000. And then I will give the radio platforms where I expect them to discuss the matter in detail, morning shows and all those people, I'll give the platforms 20,000. Then I will give the cameramen who come with them, because you see, there's a news reporter, and then there's a cameraman, there's a soundman, there's a lightman. So when you tell me that you are TV3, I ask you, where is the news reporter? How many other people do you have? The other people they have, I'll give everybody 5,000. Where will I get the money from? The people who are sponsoring my campaign in America. When you hear that Kamala Harris is raising $70 million for her campaign, what do you think it's for? It is fundamentally for foot soldiers and media. That's the two reasons why they raise money in America. To compensate the foot soldiers, they call them volunteers. To compensate the volunteers by getting them buses, small snacks, for them to go and knock on people's doors. That's what the money is for. The rest of the money is going to media. They are paying CNN for airtime. They are paying Fox News for airtime. They are paying ABC for airtime. That's why Kamala Harris must go on the market in the greatest democracy in the world to raise millions of dollars to finance her campaign. That's the greatest democracy in the world. So the question is, where is the candidate going to get the money from? He must go and raise money. How will he be able to raise money? If people have confidence in his policy, they will facilitate his campaign with money. That's the money that he uses to do those things. Nothing to do with stolen money or corruption. The greatest democracy in the world in America, they are raising money. Donald Trump said he spent $1 billion on the 2016 election of his own money. What was the money for? To pay the foot soldiers and to pay media and to pay his staff. Some of the staff are on salary. Why are we hypocrites? What is the hypocrisy about? Journalists were paid 20,000, so all else will break loose. So that's corruption. 20,000 and 10,000 and 5,000 for journalists who had come from Kumasi, Atebubu, Saboba, Tripoli, Wa, Bogatanga, Inche in the western region, and Nomabu in the central region. They were coming from Zelukope, they were coming from Adom, they were coming from all of those places to the Kempinski moving pic to cover Bawumia's press conference. And Bawumia's campaign should be so insensitive that somebody comes from Zelukope, Sugakope, Adom to come and cover your press conference, and they should go back to Adom. What is, when I heard the story, I was wondering that, so we won't find one person on the morning shows to articulate the position that this is nothing to do with pay. and that it is to compensate them. Look at Samson Ladi. Look at Samson Ladi Ayinini. Senior man like that. He was sitting in the press conference. If you had been monitoring Joy FM, Samson Ladi had been on Joy FM that afternoon doing his law program. That's why he was in suit. That's his apparel for the law program he does on Joy TV. He had finished the law program at about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. He was to go home. And then he will wait because Bamia said he's starting at 5. So he will wait and then come to the place. His wife was expecting him at home. So he comes to sit down and then he listens to you so that he can think about it. And when he's on news file, he knows what you said and what your opponent said so that he can inform his viewers. Then you won't compensate him. He should come to this thing, moving pay, and go home. Why are we afraid of money? What's the point? Why are we journalists afraid of money? Why? What's the issue? Please, let's stop that. Let's stop that. If you deliver high standards, you know that you get high standards. You're not worried about money. And when people owe you as a journalist, yes, they owe you. If you have deployed your service and skill to any institution as a journalist, they owe you. And you shouldn't be afraid to say that they owe you. And they do. They have to pay. What is wrong with that? Let's stop the hypocrisy and let's not be fooled by people who are looking for instant sensation. They don't have a story. They can't think about a story. They can't do a news report. So every day they are talking about things that they think will incense people. And then they come and say that journalists to 20,000. So what should we do? So what?